Hello everybody and welcome back to Pravus Gaming and more Plague Inc. Evolved Custom Scenarios. Let's go back to the popular tab. I'm actually kind of curious about doing Bunny Love. Why? Because, well, one, why not just do the top three and just kind of work my way down? But also, it just sounds kind of fun. Lucky Bunny made Bunny Love. Wait, no, that sounds horrible. Wow, what did I just say? A group of bunnies gets infected with a special lab-created Neurax worm that was made to turn the human race into bunnies. Will they succeed? Oh, goody. It's going to be another one of those turn the humans into something diseases. All right, fine. We're going to turn everyone into bunnies. And then the population shall skyrocket. Looks like we do have a Neurax worm to play with today. Do we want to go for Darwinist? I don't think so. I think we go for the genetic mimic. We'll do the, probably... what do I want? I think we go for the metabolic jump. Then we go for the Terracite. Does still work pretty well for the Neurax Swarm Extremophile, and the Symptostasis done. Bunny Love. This lab-created Neurax worm was made to change the human race into bunnies. Why? I don't know. Because we can. Let's see if it succeeds, or if it ends up being a failed experiment. All right? The Neurax Swarm is dropped by fighter jet. Well, then I have to drop it in Saudi Arabia. I don't know why. Maybe. Bunny Love is a Neurax worm. Okay, transmissions. We start off with concertina locomotion, eggs, and genetic swap. Nothing new there, but the symptoms. Bunny-like features. Infected gain bunny ears and a tail. Raises severity only slightly, since people will mostly just assume they are cosplaying or prostitutes. What? Why would you... Wait, no, I'm sorry. Who looks at somebody who's got little bunny ears and think, oh, that's definitely a hooker? No one thinks that. Good God in heaven. A furry, maybe. Okay, so we got Trojan planes, drug, cold, and heat resistance. Right. Well, then let's go ahead and pick it up. It's a lot of infectivity for free. Anthro bunnies. Infected become full-on anthropomorphic. Anthropomorphic? Is it anthropomorphic? Anthropomorphic bunnies. Severity increases more, but not severely, as bunny costumes exist. See, this is why furries shouldn't be allowed to exist. Because their costumes are making us blind to the possibility that humans are actually going to turn into animals. And when we figure it out, it'll be too late. Because we all gave them the benefit of the doubt and said, that's not a weird mutant monster. That's just a furry. I'm joking, obviously. Undulatory locomotion. This appears to be absolutely nothing new down here. So the only real difference in this particular scenario is going to be the symptoms, which is okay, but always a little bit disappointing, because I'd like to see a bit more creativity on the transmissions and the abilities. But sometimes that's a little bit too much to ask for. It also usually has to depend a bit on just how experienced this particular developer is and whether he feels confident in reworking an entire scenario. Symptoms are a very easy way to get a scenario out and published. You know, if you just focus on one thing. Trying to balance all three, a little harder. We're going to continue working down the air route. I think I will pick up some eggs because a little bit of infectivity is certainly going to be a good thing. We will be able to transport via plane, really no problem whatsoever. I'm honestly not convinced there's any reason to go for Air 3 at this point. I mean, we certainly could, but really, do we need to? We're going to have the freaking Trojan planes. So no, I don't think that's necessary. Let's go for the... I'm a little bit worried about that severity, but let's go for it anyway. Anthrobunnies! That leads to animal instincts. Anthropomorphic bunny infected will strip naked, as bunnies don't need clothes. People get really suspicious. I like that people are only a little suspicious at this point, though. They're like, all right, Greg the Furry is taking this a little further than he usually does. You think something might be wrong with him? No, don't judge. Don't judge. It's just the lifestyle he chooses to live. Bunny Love is just another parasite. Amazing. Okay, let's go for a little bit of water, then the Trojan planes, then some drug resistance, then some cold resistance levels 1 and 2. Probably should go for another level of drug resistance if we're smart. I'm going to go ahead and go to Greenland since I know that is the last target that will get infected. Usually. Whoop. Bunny Love Awareness Day. Yeah, please develop a cure. For the love of God, there are people stripping down naked. Actually, they aren't doing it yet, but they're going to. A little bit more severity comes out of that. We also have hallucinations. Occipital lesions created causing severe hallucinations. Lack of awareness increases transmission chance, as well as risk of injury. A little bit of lethality comes out of that. All right, we'll go for some more drug resistance. I'm getting plenty of DNA. That is not the problem here. We don't really need to go for genetic swap for any mutation because there's just not a lot going on down here. So I think I think we go for the Air 3 in order to be a little bit better in the rich countries. That seems reasonable enough. All right, so let's see. What else are we missing that's going to be really important? We are missing Cuba. Madagascar is not going to be an issue. The Philippines, maybe, but I'm going to go with Cuba. Or the Caribbean, whatever. Good news is we're getting plenty of points because the extra severity early on in the game goes a long way. Let's go for the animal instincts. That leads to defensive. The anthropomorphic bunnies will get defensive over their lives and will protest their rights to walk around naked with bunny ears and a tail. People notice, but it just isn't scary anymore. What? They've just gotten completely used to it? You say that it's not scary anymore, and yet I'm looking at that lethality going up and thinking, if they're not scared of that, then Darwinian evolution has failed us. Okay? That's all I'm saying. We could go for the hallucinations, which I guess I will do. That leads to devotion. Surges of dopamine and serotonin compel the host. This is about the ascendancy victory, transcendence victory. I'm not sure I care about that really. So lethality is great and all. I'm kind of wondering what's up here though. I'm not too sure. So what should we do really? I guess we have a few points. We'll go ahead and pick up genetic hardening. I'm just going to kind of wait a little bit. I don't want to move right on into the victory condition, but we have more points than I know what to do with at the moment. So we'll just make sure that we have a better score by grabbing a couple levels of genetic hardening. Disturbing reports of bunny love. Is that what I just saw? Oh no, Egypt's broken down because all the Egyptians are walking around naked with bunny ears. Oh, the horror! All right, let's go for Iceland since they did lock themselves down. Italy is an anarchy overrun by Peter Rabbit. Oh, man. Sweden and Ukraine, amazingly, have held off for a very long time. We are going to go for defensive and start getting that lethality. We are completely locked out here, though. Let's go for devotion. That leads to lust. Oh, God. A constant production of oxytocin makes the host way more likely to mate, spreading the disease. This mating will slow cure research due to difficulties. Thank you for self-censoring that. Enhanced sensory integration. That's nothing too exciting. Enhanced motor control. Nutrient flow to the parietal lobe increased. Blah, blah, blah. Engorged quadriceps. Nutrients stripped from other parts of the corpse and used to repair leg muscles in order to improve horde speed. You stole this straight from the zombie plague. What does this have to do with the buns? Floof! Floof it up! Floof the hair! The bunnies have thicker fur, protecting them from the cold and making them more adorable. Spreading infection through contact. Look, I don't care how fluffy their fur is. If you've got a human who's naked with fur all over his body, ain't no way in heck I'm touching him. Immaturity. Okay. Mania. Nocturnal. It's free. Infected struggle to sleep at night. Okay. Obsession. Severe damage to orbital cortex triggers OCD. Okay. This leads to paranoia. Then polyphagia. Compulsive hunger forces continuous eating. Are they going to be eating people at some point? There are no healthy people left in the world. Steroidal boost symptoms. Okay, that leads to subconjunctival bleed. Blood gathering in the anterior chamber of the eye gives a red appearance. A red-eyed bunny man. Dear God in heaven, my nightmares have come true. That's it for the symptoms, though. Wait, so what else is there to do? You're going to make me sit here with so little lethality? That can't be right. No. You would never do that to me, would you? You're going to make me sit here with, like, no lethality whatsoever? Oh, that doesn't feel right. Oh, there we go. Never mind. Never mind. Okay, I was about to get really upset. But it turns out that all we had to do was just turn every person into a bunny. So wait a minute. At what point did we cross the threshold where every person turned into a bunny? Okay, so we have the enhanced motor control. They floofed up. Immaturity, mania, nocturnal, obsession, paranoia, polyphagia. I mean, once they start eating compulsively, is that what defines a bunny? Or once they floof, are we done? I have no idea. It's not abundantly obvious to me. By the way, don't be deceived by the sheer number of symptoms here. This was an incredibly linear path, which I did criticize in the last video as well. And I think kind of still stands here. I understand the temptation to create a themed scenario with just changing up some symptoms and just kind of make an obvious path, but, you know, part of the fun of the game is trying to figure out which mix and match of diseases and symptoms and stuff are going to end up killing your, or I guess in this case, transforming your patients. I say patient. I've been playing BioInk too long, but you guys know what I mean. Like, having multiple branching paths is kind of one of the iconic features of Plague Inc. and what gives it its challenge. If it's linear, then all you're doing really is just clicking buttons long enough to get enough DNA, and then boom, you win, or you lose. It's kind of really off the rails at that point, and that's a little bit less fun. So I'm not quite as impressed by that. The human race are now a bunch of super smart anthro bunnies. 3 stars, 98,000 points. 6 billion man bunnies roam the earth. And in the meantime, in other news, the demand and prices for carrots has skyrocketed, which, by the way, I've heard that bunnies don't actually like that, but whatever. That's beside the point. Thank you, Bugs Bunny. All right, yeah, the criticism kind of stand on this one. It's kind of the same as the last scenario. It's a fun little theme, I guess, but the linearness of it is just kind of It's not as much creativity as I think it needs, and then the transmissions and abilities don't really fit with this kind of at all. Again, it's one of those things where I think if you're going to have humans transforming into something, you know... no, never mind. I was going to say you could have gone for the simian flu. I guess it makes more sense in the cat scenario where the cat's awakened, not so much if the humans are transforming. Either way, this scenario could really use a little bit of work, but mostly just you could use some more branching options to make it a bit more challenging. Otherwise, it's just kind of, as it is right now. All right, well, I'm afraid to be a little bit too critical 2 videos in a row. Maybe people won't like that, but that's just kind of the way I feel about it. So, thank you all very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed anyway. If so, then be sure to hit that like button, leave a comment, and subscribe, hit that notify bell, and I will see you guys next time.